is going on, everybody? 2About29 back in the lounge yet again. Make sure to kick back, relax, and grab some snacks because it's time for another round table podcast. Today we have volume 24 going on. 2 away from 26, which would officially be 1 year in terms of rebirthing the podcast, which is just crazy to me. But anyway, here we are. With me, I'm not going to waste any time today on the introductions. With me today, I have the one, the only, the self-proclaimed people's champion, the man of the people, Mr. B-Rock Gaming. B-Rock, how is it going with you today?
What up, Bob? Thank you for inviting me to the podcast. This is B-Rock, not a full-time job. That's my second moniker. I am the people's champ. We all know it. I'm here for the people.
I'm here for the people, he says. I think those people are he, himself, and him.
I am him. I am him. Let's talk about it.
Oh, man. Well, welcome on in, B-Rock. Happy to have you here today. Also with me, I have, as always, his better half, the man who is having zero troubles with feud. He himself said it, not me. It is Mr. Chris B. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, and actually, for the first time this feud, I had an issue. I was just like, man, I wasn't having any problems, and then this happened. And I'm annoyed. All these stinking reversals that I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, those seem to never go away, do they? I'm sorry for your loss there. Hopefully you won't have too much of an issue moving forward. All right. On top of that, so there is B-Rock, there is Chris. Next up in line, he was with us last podcast. He is going to be with us again this podcast. I was not able to get Volume 23 posted on YouTube as of yet, but I will be able to get 23 posted on YouTube in the near future here, as well as this one, 24. And you all at home will definitely be able to let me know if you can understand a word that he is saying. It is the one, the only, McMenemy. Bucko, how are you doing this morning?
Great. I'm proud of you for having me on for a second time. And Mini-Me says, move your ass and get the first one up.
Yeah, Mini U wants to hear his dad on YouTube, huh?
Yep. I put on a podcast with Volume 21 and he went, is that the one you're on? Sat down. I said no. He picked his ass up and walked away.
That's got to make you feel proud as a dad, though. Come on.
A wee bit.
A wee bit, yeah. Come on, you know your kid. Your kid looks up to you. There you go. That's always a great feeling. I will definitely do my best on getting the volume uploaded for you and Mini-Me for sure, Bucko. Also, giggling in the background. It is not her first time on the podcast, nor will it be her last. It is the Kitsu Squirrel herself, Shell. Shell, how are you doing today? Still don't understand why that's your name on this server, by the way.
It was something with the last pod where someone said I reminded them of a squirrel because the way I was jumping around.
I mean, okay, fair.
I don't. Yeah, pretty much true. Although I knew that giggling just cost me a match.
Oh, well.
As people watching you can see, I lost.
I mean, look, it is what it is. I mean, hell of an intro, show. Hell of an intro. And anything else that you want to say?
I'm hyped up, man. So let's go.
So, yes, everyone, that is Kitsu Shell. She's from the new ministry as well. This is, like I was saying, not her first time on the podcast. We are currently in a feud brawl right now. And as she mentioned, she definitely stole a loss there. But who cares? Anyway, moving forward, back for his second time on the podcast. Hopefully not live from the bathroom today. It is Mr. Slim Numbers. Slim, how is the audio doing, friend?
Hopefully a lot better. Hopefully a lot better.
Okay, well, let's see if we can fix it live.
So it's not better. All right.
Now it is. When you talk up, it's better.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, talk to him. Give him your intro.
Hey, I'm Slim. How y'all doing?
Hey, he's Slim. All right, welcome on in, Slimbo. Hopefully we can avoid some of that frustration from earlier on. I heard that you were streaming and not so happy with it, so I apologize for you having to go through that experience. Man, Julia without the gear really does just eat up the emulators, doesn't she? Ouchies. All right, and last but certainly not least, the man, the myth, the legend himself, one half of the reason I brought the podcast back in the first place. It is Mr. Southside Envy. Envy, how are you doing today?
Doing great. Southside Envy from the new ministry, and this week's Warrior of the Week, Tito Dos Macho, who enjoys the podcast and sees it as proof that the game is alive and well. But we're going to debate that today. And also, I'm really disappointed. So, Minnie McManamy saw episode 21 out there and didn't want to stay around for the top 10 fantastic boxes. That's the one he probably should have listened to. We got 6 minutes in and you just go for another 4 and then you can walk away.
Envy, no. just no, Envy. Not for the kid. Not for the kid. You know that's horrible to say. All right, well, there is our crew on the day. We have quite a bit to talk about, and you know what? I figure why not? Let's get started with the elephant in the room. Everybody's dealing with it. Everybody's frustrated with it. It's hype. It is hype. We had hype for the Rey Fenix feud. We had hype for the recent Black Mass Showdown event, which we will talk about a little bit later on. And we have hype for our current feud. So yeah, let's get some updated feedback on hype. It's been about 3 weeks, give or take, of us having it, having access to it, having access to buying it, things like that. Is anybody feeling frisky and wants to go first? Otherwise, I will just gladly choose someone at random to go first and talk about hype. All right. Envy, let's hear your take on hype.
Well, so hype for me is kind of cool. I mean, I like trying to think a little bit. So I like to see if I can counter what's coming at me, or I like just torturing people by going first. It could go either way, but what I don't like is the extra defense that it seems to be giving these people in feud. I mean, I've seen people kick out from 99 million. I've seen people make me do 1 million. It's been a weird experience all the way around, but we're getting through it. When you hit day 2, you get your groove and you're going. So I think I can handle what the changes are, and I appreciate having to think a little bit harder, but it makes me look like a slow poking feud, and I don't like that. But in Showdown is fine. Now they tell you who goes first, which was an advantage, I think, when people didn't know I was going first. But now that they know, they can beat me, so whatever. But I mean, it's a thing. I'm fine with it.
All right. So that's our first hype take. Slim, let's get your take on this. I think that you have quite the adverse take to that. Yeah.
I do have an adverse take to hype, and it's not the mechanics or the system. I don't care about going first. That's fine. It is what it is. I don't necessarily care about the buffs that are associated with it or the nerfs that are associated with it. That's all fine too. I get it. That's stuff that would have happened with an additional rarity. My biggest bone that I have with hype is all of the in-game mechanics around hype are not designed to help the player. They're designed to help the opponent. And that, to me, is actual bad game construction, and it's actual bad design, right? every bit of hype actually helps your opponent more than it helps you compared to pre-hype days, right? Going first doesn't matter because we've always gone first. Class advantage only helps your opponent. The passive scoring in the current feud, you're scoring points for your opponent. And understand that you're getting points for it too, but how does your opponent feel who's on the other side of it? Their performance is giving you score. All of that is just, there's a bug with the kick out where it not only hurts you when you pin somebody, but it helps the opponent when they pin you. Yeah, all of it is designed to help the opponent, and all of it is designed for the opponent's benefit instead of your benefit. And that really just grinds my gears. It gets under my skin, and I don't quite know how to fix it, but it doesn't feel good. You know what I'm saying? And that's my biggest bone to pick. I don't care if I go second. That's fine. I understand that there's a disadvantage there. Also, another thing kind of designed to opponent over you. But I don't want to reduce it as in, oh man, I don't get to go first. I've always gone first. It's my right to go first. That's not what I'm arguing about. I'm arguing about the fact that the entire system is designed to help your opponent, not yourself, in multiple different levels as it sits right now. And that really bothers me. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, it's an interesting system, to put it kindly.
I don't think it's interesting. Is it on its face? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No,
it's
you're
not
good.
an interesting system. The system itself, as far as benefits to the player, is you get stronger medals essentially, right? And
Yeah.
if you have one hype level above, you have 20% more damage coming from everywhere. Yeah, that's cool, right? That may allow a 6-star silver an easier time beating a 6-star gold. Yeah, sure. That's interesting. Your defense, as long as you have better hype, helps you stay alive, I guess. If you're going first anyway in a first turn game, here's about the defense, right? It's not an interesting system. It is a bunch of meaningless buffs and nerfs until it gets to your opponent, and then your opponent gets to enjoy all sorts of cool stuff that you don't. It is a way to intentionally make the game more difficult, and the more hype you have, the better off you're in the game. And there's only 2 ways to get hype at this current point in time. It's been a trash rollout for a boring system.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I say an interesting system, like, I mean that it's a difference compared to just a new rarity with just a new move and just scaling the same way that it's been in the past. Like, it's not going to help if we went to 7-star. We still have so many people that'll be able to wipe out people at 7-star. I think that the rollout of the system could have been better. I think that the implications of the system could have been better. I think the way that the points for leveling up your characters could have been provided better. I think that all in all, it could have just been done better. I don't think there's an argument about that. I don't like how there's a lack of information, like a glaring lack of information. You don't know how much more damage you're going to do or how much less damage you're going to take. You don't know what the difference is between my hype 3, your hype 1, or my hype 2 and your hype 2, or any of that type of stuff without going out of your own way, spending your own money, leveling up your own characters, finding other hyped out characters to test these things against. And the only instances of that are PvP game modes right now. There's no PvE hype characters. All the PvE characters have 0 hype. So if you want to test out your hype 1, hype 2, hype 3 against hype 0, then sure, you can play against tours and blitzes and all that stuff. If you want to actually gauge how much damage you're going to do or take or any of that type of stuff versus other hyped out characters, you need to go into a player versus player game mode. And that is where I think I lose a lot of desire with the game mode itself. That's pretty frustrating that that's the only way you can test it and understand it. especially when it's something brand new, right? Like when we've had new rarities in the past, it's all pretty self-explanatory. Like, hey, you got a new move. Here's what the new move does. Here's the damage. Here's the numbers. Here's the amount of gems. Here's the everything, right? This was like, hey, we're going to introduce something completely brand new. There's going to be a very in-depth tutorial, and then there wasn't. And we're all kind of sitting here just waiting for the explanation to eventually happen. And it's not. And so that's really frustrating. I also think that the whole go first turn thing, the awareness, whatever the thing is called now, initiative, whatever it's called, that was misleading. Because the indication was, well, don't worry about the awareness, because if you have class advantage, you will still be able to go first over your opponents. Having class advantage will be game changing. It's going to make a big deal for you. You will still be able to go first over someone that has a higher hype level than you. That is not the case in any situation. Whether it's 1 versus 2, 2 versus 3, 3 versus 4, you will never go first if you have class advantage against somebody who has a higher hype than you, just because of the way the numbers work out. They're basic numbers, right? It's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and if you have class advantage, you get 500. So if I have 1,000 versus your 2,000, and I get 500, I'm still not ahead of your 2,000. I'm at 1,500, and that's the same thing for every level. So it's
can't actually find. I can't find a significant area in the game where class advantage helps the player more so than like a 10% buff in overall damage. That's it. That's all class advantage is for the player. You're absolutely right. It's never going to change turn order the way it's coded right now, or the way it in the game right now, and that's essentially, to me, renders class advantage useless as a player. The class advantage is now something I have to look for against my opponent, because my opponent gets the benefit from class advantage.
It's odd. Before I continue to just hog the mic, B-Rock, why don't you chime in here?
I didn't know if you wanted me to go.
Go for it.
So let's talk about steel cage. I mean height. I mean, whatever this is. Look, we were live last pod when I was actually really just starting to get into it, and I will say I am not somebody who hates height. I actually kind of like height. I don't like the fact that I don't know what hype is. Still, I don't like the fact that everything now has this hype me thing on it, which visually is not the greatest.
Yeah, I hate the banner
because I get it. We want to advertise it. I know that we want to get people hyped for hype, but it's a little overboard. I am somebody who started feuding and learned the intricacies of feuding from several people, from several content creators, yourself, Flo, Merrick's, Goldie, Gerson. No slight to anybody else. Davey D, DJ. Everybody had their own take, so I kind of made my own. So I used to be able to feud very quickly without buying anything extra. Chris will tell you more often than not, if you look at the top of the feud ranks, at the end of the weekend, my name was always somewhere near the top. It's the game mode that I enjoy the most. Hype is taking away from that enjoyment. Because now I can't go fast. because now I have to double check everything. And if you make a mistake, simple mistake, and you concentrate on the hype part, and you miss out on the fact that, oh man, that was lack of better term, that was Tiffy. And now I'm running Charlotte against Tiff. Now all of a sudden that's a complete loss, so forth and so on, because I was worried about my hype to Charlotte versus a hype 1 Tiffy, but now she counters multis, so forth and so on. So it's not just hype, it's MP down, it's multi, and that's making the game more cumbersome and less fun.
So too many extra moving parts for B-Rock is what I'm hearing.
Too much junk.
Too much junk. Okay, got it.
It's too, I think we're overdoing it a little bit.
All right. Shell, why don't you chime in? Talk to us. Thoughts on hype?
So I kind of agree a lot with what B-Rock was saying. It's a lot of junk. It's a lot to look through. It's a lot to take into account now, especially like when you're feuding. You got to look see for reversals. You got to look and see who has a bigger hype. It's a lot, especially to remember if you're not someone who has an eidetic memory, like certain people in this voice chat. It feels like. But overall, I kind of like hype. I kind of like it. I have not had a horrible experience with it. Like I was worried that I would. The only thing I wanted to point out is like when you're doing this, when you're forced to do your CSS during feud, especially one like this where it's the errors and it's the classes, it's frustrating as hell because you can't, oh, hey, I have, like, it was frustrating for me. Like, I had to use my Molly Holly. And Molly Holly has 0 hype because I've gotten 0 shards of hype for her.
Yep.
And I don't want to use my wild card. So I'm stuck trying to take her against, non-optimal opponents. I didn't lose, but some matches, one or two matches took me like 10 minutes. And I felt bad because, like, especially like people in TNM, people go fast. But now with hype, I feel like a lot of us are going a little bit slower, which might be one of the things I like about hype is it kind of slowing the game down a little bit, but in an annoying way, though, not so much a good way.
Okay. All right. Who am I bouncing off of? Oh, I'm bouncing off of you, Shell. All right, fair enough. So we definitely have some varying opinions here on hype. You know what? Let's get the most outspoken individual in the group. His thoughts. Bucko McMenemy, why don't you tell us what your experience is with hype? And it doesn't just have to be this feud. I'm just talking about altogether, right?
Well, so far, I like hype. I agree with Slim that when they said that they were going to try and make class advantage matter, it does fucking not matter whatsoever. It just the bullshit thing that they said. As somebody that won't buy this shit either, all I've got is hype level 1, so that's what I work with. But I still managed to win an ISD bracket when it first came out.
Yep.
Feud, I just have to think about shit a bit more, and if I see a hype 3, I'm like, okay, who can I use? Put MP down on people. In this current feud, I had to use Metalhead Mammy, and I can tell you the difference in hitting a hype 1 equal to a hype 3 is like 200 million difference. If it's level playing field, my Metalhead Mammy's hitting like 300 plus million.
Mm-hmm.
But if she goes up against a a hype level 3, we're talking 125 million. I mean, still winning, but that's a huge fucking difference.
Yeah, it's massive. I noticed that with my showboat Becky, my A tier Becky from last month or whatever it was, Bex.
Yep.
When before hype came out, I was hitting like maybe around 80 mil, give or take. I got her up to hype 3. And at hype 3, I was testing it out in tours, and I saw that I hit for 250 million damage. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? And it was like, oh yeah, hype. Hype happened. Hype is essentially making me do 3 times the amount of damage that I normally would do because I'm hype 3.
Yep, that's what I've experienced as well. It's like night and day.
It's crazy.
I still like it though. I just wish they'd fucking make fucking class advantage matter for the actual player, not the fucking AI.
Yeah, you're talking about the awareness stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Well,
Yeah.
I was sold on class advantage is going to matter. That fucking doesn't it?
Nah. It'd be great if it did. It just doesn't. Chris, you're the last one on our list. I think I have also found out you are the one that I'm bouncing off of, because you're the only one who is not on mute. So now you are gone, but it is your turn to talk. Oh, there we go. I'm now bouncing off even louder. Well, it is your turn to talk, Chris. So yeah, talk to me about your hype experience so far.
I kind of feel I must be the only one who actually looks to use class advantage because, like, when the hype is tied. Because, I mean, you can't say class advantage doesn't matter. It matters, just not as much as people wanted it to. Like, you can still use it to your advantage, in order to get that first turn and all that stuff. But overall, I mean, hype's fine. It's kind of annoying that everything about it is RNG related in terms of getting it. Minus the very small amount of wild hype that we get.
This is true.
But like overall, it doesn't really bother me too much. It's pretty clear right from the beginning, who has the hype, who doesn't, what it's, going to do for a turn order and all that. So that part doesn't bother me. I wish I understood more, how it's working outside of the awareness. I know supposedly we get more defense, more damage, and all that stuff. I wish it was a little more clear in how that was working. But I think my biggest issue with hype is that they rolled it out first for that feud. I don't think that was a very smart decision. They should have released it with the beginning of the new MLC and give everyone, like that opening week to experiment and all that stuff with it. But overall, I think it's actually a good addition to the game. They just got to iron some things out and get a little more information out there.
Yeah, I can see it being helpful. As for the class advantage thing with the awareness, that if you always win with a tie, if you're the same hype as somebody else, but there is no realm where having class advantage gets you to go first if you're lower hype than somebody. That's the one big takeaway I think a lot of people have with the awareness, that they were thinking class advantage would be game changing. So just want to clear that up. As for the unveiling of hype itself, it did not go over great. It could have definitely been a lot smoother. It was not. A lot of us were misled into thinking that they had a very intuitive tutorial coming, and there wasn't. It was about 2 minutes, like maybe 3 minutes long, and it's like, hey, here you go. Here's the new system. Have fun. that was it. And still, like I was saying, to this day, a lot of us don't have a full understanding of what it actually entails, right? I think that in the grand scheme of things, and again, this is not to kind of counter anybody's point, so Slim, don't think I'm tackling you with this one, but I do find the system interesting in the extent of how it's supposed to work, right? I think if this is I don't want to call it a beta. Let's say it's a test, okay? If this is a test of how hype is supposed to be implemented and introduced, that this is the bare bones basic of level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and they're just giving us these numbers instead of us being able to spec into what numbers we could get, then I think that it's a different type of beginning and start to like a new game mode. But let's take, for example, whenever it happens, let's say we get hype 5 and hype 6 in the game. Instead of you just getting flatline increases in your stats, what if you had to pick? What if it's like, okay, I could either take 1,000 in awareness and 1,000 in everything and 20 on kick out, or I can skip the 20 in kick out, but I get 1,500 in awareness or 2,000 in awareness, right? Like you get to pick and choose the stats that you level up as you hype up your characters, right? I think that's the way that it's supposed to be in the long run, because if it's just flatline the same for every character and every class and every era and everything like that, then it's just gonna be the same old game that we've been playing this whole time. There is not going to be any change, right? 6-star gold was the cap, and when you fought 6-star gold against 6-star gold, that was essentially you win, right? The only thing that's different now when it comes to class advantage is making sure your opponent does not have the class advantage, because that's when they get to go first. Kind of piggybacking on Slim's point of the opponent gets to receive the benefit. If you're going to go first already because you're using a showboat against the tech, then you don't care about class advantage. But if you're fighting a technician, now it's like, well, I better not use a powerhouse, because if I do, they're going to go first. So it feels like you're getting punished for benefiting the opponent. But I think in the long run that the way this is intended to work, and I don't have any inside info, so don't shoot the messenger, but I think the way that it's intended to work is there is more customization down the pipeline, where when we get to hype 5 or 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever the fancy magic number is, that we should be able to re-customize what is kind of our biggest hype points, right? Like if you want to have someone who's Omega defensive, you should be able to spec those points into an Omega defensive character. And maybe there's parameters, right? Maybe acrobats can get a little more awareness. Maybe showboats can get a little more defense. Maybe powerhouses can get a little more damage. I don't know. Maybe it's based on the style. I don't know that either. Maybe they want to keep it open for every single character. That's again completely up to them. But if it's all the same straight line base numbers, then it's going to just be the same game that we've had the entire time. It's just going to take longer for people to get there because it's all RNG. And now instead of you getting to pick and choose who you take up, again, because this is essentially a replacement for a rarity increase. Instead of you being able to choose, okay, well, I want to take up my Striker Naomi. Now you don't get to choose that. You have to get hype fragments and hype pulls to spend on the loot to hope to get Naomi fragments to level her up, to make her rarity higher, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I think is the biggest issue here too with hype, is you don't actually get to pick and choose. Other than the wildcard stuff, which is obviously very expensive. They had that deal, what is it? Was it $20 for 10 wildcard hype at random? That's insane. Right now you need 110 or 100 hype for a character to take them up to hype 3. So the idea that you'd have to roll 1 in 6 on a bag that you can only buy once, that you'd have to roll 1 in 6 to get 10 wildcard hype, and then do that 10 times over. Yeah, here's the deal. Yeah, 10 wildcard hype, and this deal is $20. Like, that's insane. They're not even selling it. They're not even making it available. But even if they did, you can't get enough without spending a good chunk of change in order to pick and choose the characters that you want to pick and choose. That to me is the biggest issue. That to me is the biggest problem with hype, more than anything else. More than the numbers, more than the going first, more than this, that, or the other. It's the fact that this was supposed to be a replacement for a rarity increase. And with a rarity increase, you got to pick and choose the characters you wanted to level up. With hype, you don't. You only get to pick and choose with wildcard. Other than that, you roll the dice and you hope, like, hey, maybe I got somebody good. That's it. And that's bad. That's a real feels bad. Especially because a lot of people can pull hype fragments for characters they don't even own. And that's just horrible. Just horrible.
Speaking of pulling shards for people I don't have, I get 50 of Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, there you go. Congrats.
And I also can't be arsed looking at my roster either when it's talent up time. That's just, that fucking hype shit just does my box in there.
Yeah,
I
hate the banner so much. It's so bad. And yeah, I'm right there with you, Bucko. I can take my hip hop scene at a hype 3 if I had one.
So,
wait, there's someone you don't have to, Bob?
Yes, Chris. Yes. Go on, Vera.
So I'm looking at something here, and again, we still don't know what hype is. I like the attribute system though. If that is something that we're headed to, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with it. But I'll use a perfect example. I just used Dakota Kai in my feud. Dakota Kai, the way I have her set up, does 100 million. Period. She's 6-star gold full. She does 100 million. Done. She's been doing 100 million for how long? How long's the drip been out?
Long
2 years?
time. A long time.
2 years, 3 years, something like that. She's been around 100 million. She is not hyped. So when I face a hyped person, how much do you think she should do? Because she's been doing 100 million this entire time.
Yeah, see, that's interesting to me that she's still doing as much because she shouldn't be.
She's not. She's now doing 80 million.
Yeah, there you go.
So it's a 20 million difference. So when she went up against a tier 3, because I was just testing it out, do you know what she did?
Probably like
42 million.
Yeah.
Come on. You gotta give us some information. Because if I wasn't conscious of it, like there's certain people when I feud, I know exactly how much their damage they're going to do, give or take. I know where they should be. So if I'm looking at the meter, I'm like, okay, boom, this is over. I'm getting ready for my next one. Just kind of, I need Scopely to kind of say, hey, this is the defense percentage for tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. I understand it gives us those little numbers, but the numbers aren't antiquated to a battle.
No, come on. You don't want 1,000 toughness or whatever the hell it is?
Exactly, because I don't know what 1,000 toughness is.
Yeah, none of us do, unfortunately. That's why I tried to work with Slim as much as I did, and I was like, look, I made a new video, and feel free to pause the video at this point in time so that you can try and dissect it. He himself did multiple streams trying to dissect the numbers, and essentially got nowhere fast.
Well, I'm trying to share a picture in the roundtable chat. I have found out that your buffs, the offensive buffs for hype, equal the defensive buffs. I have a picture because I used it in a video where I was explaining all of it. But yeah, you're dead on. Against a level 3, your damage is going to be reduced by 60%. It doesn't tell you that anywhere in game. I had to figure it out manually, but you're exactly dead on, and that always happens. That's a consistent amount. know how to share it. Here, I'll share it in the live chat. There we go.
Yeah, it doesn't make very much sense, to put it kindly. There's just there's no explanation. And on top of that, the fact that Slim himself, who's a member of the community, needed to go out of his way to do his own testing, to do his own explanation and his own breakdowns, it's insane. And like the worst part is on top of this, right? And I know Slim is looking at these numbers too, and the one thing that I was telling him, and I think we both agreed on, medals and strap bonuses and trainers and coaches all have implementations on these numbers too. So like you can get a random, like close-ish number, but you still can't get a full accurate picture based on all the varying factors, right? Trainers exist, coaches exist, straps exist, medals exist, skill plates exist, gears, moments, and now there's hype. Like, there's a lot of stuff that exists in this game in terms of giving you bonuses, giving you debuffs. Perks exist, right? Like, there's so many moving parts that it's next to impossible to be able to get an appropriate breakdown. And so I commend Slim for what he's done so far, because I wouldn't want to do it. I'm a nerd for numbers too, and I still don't want to put the amount of effort and time and frustration that would come out of it into this project.
I did find out, actually, talking about metal straps trainers, sorry to derail a little bit, but all of that stuff goes into the hype. Hype is actually the last part of the buff. So after you make that big giant calculation of everything that gets changed, now I don't know perks, chance to test that, but everything that you wear into your gear, moments, straps, medals, blah, 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 after all of that gets calculated, that then gets run through the hype buff, and that's what your final damage. So it is like the last, in the order of operations on how the game calculates numbers, it's the last operation that happens. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah.
But by the way, actually, I did want to touch on the fact that you were talking about, hopefully the game starts letting us put our attributes where we want them to. We're going to have to. Otherwise, in a long enough timeline, everybody will have hype 4 characters, and hype levels equal themselves out except for kick-out bonus. So in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, if they don't give you the ability to manipulate where you put your hype points in like aggression or toughness, everybody will be hype level 4. Nobody will get a bonus. The only thing that will realistically be changed is the kick-out damage. Everything else will be the same. It's still 6-star gold versus 6-star gold. It'll be real bad if you get to everybody having hype level 4 and you can't actually customize anything. It will actually revert the game back to what the game was before hype, just with larger kick-out bonuses.
Right. It's essentially 6-star gold all over again. And now just don't fight somebody that has a class advantage against you, because they will go first. Because again, defense gets the benefit. That's essentially it. And that was kind of my question to them when I had learned about this whole hype thing was, you know, down the line, right? However long it's going to be from now, whenever people start getting their maxed out hype, right? What is the difference from where we're at right now? Because if there is no difference, right? If acrobats don't automatically have more awareness because they're supposed to be the quick guys, and showboats don't automatically have more toughness because they're supposed to be the defensive tanks of the game, like, if that's not built in, because again, nobody knew any of this type of stuff, then what's the difference when we eventually all hit our max hype levels, right? Like, when I hit my max hype versus your max hype, what's the difference here? We're just back to 6-star gold days? That in its own right does not help, I guess, like, bring the life into the game again, right? if the idea was that we wanted to go above and beyond 6-star gold into whatever this new system was going to be, because 7-star bronze wasn't going to fix the problem, how does this fix the problem where 7-star bronze doesn't? Because all that we're going to do after everybody spends all their money and spends all their time and all their RNG and all their wild cards and all these weeks and months into getting whatever it is, the end result is going to be back where we were earlier this year in July of 2025, where we had 6-star gold. Then what was the point? Like, what's the difference? There isn't one. Just odd to me. Again, I see there's a lot of potential. I see that there's a lot of possibilities with it. Again, I don't like the rollout. I don't like how expensive it is. I don't like how it currently feels like there's a massive partition between those who spend and those who do not. It is a very frustrating experience. And I will very openly say this. For the folks out there that are trying to make light of this, and it's like, oh, well, no, if you can't get around this, you're just bad at the game, or you don't understand strategy, or any of that type of stuff, that's wrong from you. And I think deep down that you know that it's wrong, and you must just enjoy belittling other people, which is also wrong. People have a right to play the game that they wanted to play for the past 7 to 8 years, the same way that they've always played it. There should be no room for belittling people for wanting to play the game that they have played for a long time. And yes, strategy implemented might be better for you. And it's not really even strategy. The strategy is break out your wallet and hope for better RNG to get better hype than other people. And the other strategy to this is just bring defensive everything to the table. Which we talked about a little bit on the last podcast. There's a lot of lockdown on those defensive coaches and characters and stuff like that that people can't get anymore. And defensive stuff, to kind of piggyback on Slimbo's point almost half an hour ago at this point, defensive stuff just hurts the player. It doesn't help anybody else. Doesn't help you. It just makes everyone else's experience not fun. So, I mean, look, is it doable? Yes. Is it something you can work around? Yes. Does it make the game so much more drastically fun because you get to make someone else's life miserable? No. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now, that it's wrong and you know it's wrong. And it's not just one person. There's a bunch of people, and especially if you check the public server, you know there's a lot of people. So very, very frustrating to see that happening. But nevertheless, I think we have talked enough about hype, unless someone else has something else to say. Otherwise, we'll move forward, and I'm sure it'll still find its way back into the conversation as we continue the podcast. But anybody else on our general feelings of hype before we move on to our updates?
I did have a curiosity thought. How long do we think it'll be until they start putting out packages for specific character hype?
They've already done it.
Hey, have they? Like, where you get like a specific amount of hype for a specific character?
Yeah, that was the first one they did was Ray Phoenix. They gave you 85 Ray Phoenix hype fragments, and I think it was some hype pulls or something like that for $100. And they did it for Aleister Black on last weekend.
So, okay, I guess I just didn't notice.
Yep, it looks like shards, but they're hype fragments.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, that already exists, which is crazy to me. What's funny to me is I was just talking with a faction mate about the wildcard hype thing. And we literally talked about it the day before they made this available on Friday. Talked about it 3 days ago on Thursday, and I was like, do you think they're going to ever actually introduce selling wildcard hype? And he's like, maybe, but it's going to be expensive. And I'm thinking like, well, what if they did like $100 for 100 wildcard hype of each class? And he's like, you'll be lucky if they give you 100 wildcard hype of one class. And I was like, really? You think so? Here we go. Fast forward to Friday, and it's like, here's your $20 for a 10 wildcard hype of one class. And it's like, well, that didn't age well, did it? Yeah, it's something. Anybody else on our hype talks before we move on to our new MLC?
So, Bob, how did you end up buying that hype feud special? I think, what is it called? Wild Hype Feud Special?
The $20 like random bag thing?
Yep.
No, I have not bought it. I might buy it towards the end of the weekend. I didn't feel like buying it for feud. I might buy it, but I don't know.
And here's what's actually, it's got the chest with the 10 of 1. It's got 10 1 bags, so you'll get 10 random, 1 wild hype, and then it's got 10,000 hype loot coins.
Yeah, so it's 20 wild card hype total. 10 of 1 class and then 10 randoms, and then 10 more pulls at the hype loot, which they sell typically 10 for 10. So they're charging you $10 for 20 wild card hype is essentially what that amounts to. Yeah, I don't know. I might not. Weekend's not over yet. I know that I was not concerned with getting it for feud. I am more than set for feud, so I am not bothered there. Anybody else on our hype? All right, let's move forward. We spent way more than enough time on that one, and we could probably merge these next 2 points into one. So let's start with the second point. Technically, there's no more blogs. I'm sure, as a lot of you have noticed. And they have a new Discord format. If you haven't made it to the official Discord, then you definitely need to get there, because that's the only place that all this information is being disseminated now. They actually made a monthly blog for the first time in, I don't know how many days since they said there wasn't going to be any more. But on August 4th, they have the Inside the Ring WWE Champions Monthly Beach Brawl. And boy, does it look completely torn down. It looks like such a barren web page that just it gives you nothing. It tells you that we got a new MLC in August. Here's some characters. It's Rusev and Alistair. There's a new moment. That's pretty much it. All right, don't forget we got a dev corner inside a Discord. This is where we're going to tell you all the information. Join Discord. A complete waste of a bullet point telling you more about the Discord. Join for special events. More Discord. Join for the release feedback. And there's going to be a new mode coming soon. That's pretty much the blog. That's it. that was our entire MLC blog right there. So yeah, I'm kind of curious what everybody's take is on the new, I don't want to say blog format, but the new information release format, because it definitely seems to be the way that they're going towards the future. That was the last post on their website, which was 2 weeks ago on the 4th. This is the 17th, the time of this recording. And then part of that was, like I mentioned, that was supposed to be our MLC blog. So we should be talking about the new MLC, the Beach Brawl, which we can do very shortly after this. But yeah, no more blogs. At least not on that website. What's everybody feeling about the Discord format? And you know what? I guess we can kind of compile those 2 points. Did you feel like you learned anything about the new MLC from that blog that told you the state of the ring, the roadmap for the month, and essentially to join the Discord? Chris, let's start with you since we ended with you on the last one.
I learned that I missed the blogs. That was probably the biggest thing. I was like, because I saw it and I was like, what the fuck is this? It was so sad. I know, I'm probably one of the weirdest. I liked reading the blogs. And now we can't, and I now miss them. That was pretty much, I didn't get much, but we got that, we were getting Rusev, Alistair, and Julia. That was about it. And that's called, what, Beach Brawl or whatever the hell it is?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm not a fan. I want my blogs back.
All right. Well, that's straight and forward and to the point there. And I don't blame you on that one. You know what, B-Rock, I also see you're unmuted. Why don't you chime in over here with your thoughts on this one?
So, I need to borrow a box from Envy, and we can pack up all the people at Scopely. G, I love you. This is dumb. This is stupid. This is a monkey fucking a football. This is so retarded because the things that you get that cause engagement and get player and faction involvement turns around. You then take it away. It's like, okay, wait a minute, this works. I'm not talking about bringing back Slim Bro here, or Professor, or anybody else. Like, whoever it is, it doesn't. I'm not asking you to do giveaways or anything like that. We all know, everybody on this pod knows that there's a certain person that makes my ass itch and irritates the hell out of me. I will listen to him read the blog. I have no problems with that. But you just dropping this out. What do you do for factions that don't have Discord? You got factions out there that still use Facebook Messenger, Line. They use chat, Slack. Like there's people out there who don't use Discord. So you just dump something in a communication server that, one, is just awful. I think everybody in here has been on the Discord, the Champions Discord server, and if you really look at it, it's not very user friendly. So we have this. Then we have, we're gonna take that away. Is it like, hey, do we not want to involve Twitch anymore? Is that why we're doing this? Because we've cut down on streams. We've cut down on player engagement. We've cut down on notifying the players. We've cut down on any type of communication coming from the makers of the game to the people who are, one, paying to play the game. The other ones who are, this is supposed to be fun. You're taking fun out of this game all of a sudden. It's like the NFL removing touchdown celebrations. You notice they brought it back, but that's what you're doing. You're doing this, and it doesn't make sense at all. And then you say, hey, this is how it's going to be. It's awful. Awful.
Okay, alright. Sounds like B-Rock is not a fan. Envy, I see you came off mute, so why don't you join this box talk over here?
Yes, see, so I came off mute to ask which fantastic box would you like for Gerson to get into? Oh, well, if you don't have an answer to that. So, I
need to be in I need a new job box. This is like, come on. Like, Burpo, I don't know if you listen. Dude, fix it. Fix it.
Furpo's gone, baby.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Furpo gone.
I guess that would have been in the blog. No, it would have been in some type of communication that we don't have.
But I will say, I don't miss the blogs particularly, only because Faction's so great that I don't have to get on the new Discord to know what they said in the new Discord. So it's like, I can read these few words and the same as usual, except for this thing, that thing, and that thing. Okay, I guess I get it. We'll get in here and do the same things we always did, and I won't get a picture of the prize wall that possibly could disappoint me, but I will hear what's in it. So okay, whatever. I mean, it's close enough. As long as I know who the CSS is, that's all I really care about. Give me my CSS.
All right, so the vlog's not too big a deal for Envy. All right, I can dig it. Bucko, talk to me. Blogs, no more. Discord format instead. Oh, do we not got a Bucko? All right, we don't have a Bucko for now. Slim numbers. Why don't you talk to me, Slim? What's your thoughts?
I think anytime you remove a channel of information, you're going backward. Especially if you don't replace that channel of information with a new one. I know it's been stated that they now have a new channel for information. It's inferior to the one they removed. You've net lost the channel of information. I know that didn't make any damn sense. Not having a blog is fucking stupid. Right? Let's put it into clear terms. And it doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of reasons. I know that there's players out there that don't need the blog. That's cool. That's awesome. That's great. There are players that do really enjoy the blog. That's also awesome. But more information is always better. And removing the ability to put out information into the world is just not good. I think removing the Twitch stream, the official Twitch stream, has actually done a larger net negative to the community than benefited the community, right? And I think I posted this somewhere in the official Discord, but I think a lot of people actually enjoyed the official channel going live 5 days a week because it turned into episodic gacha game television, right? People could sign on, hang out in Twitch, hang with their friends, throw out some inside jokes, see people that are in different factions, all while having information disseminated out to the public that then was also available through VODs, and then I think every once in a while got uploaded to the YouTube. It was a community building practice more so than anything else, and now that's gone. Okay, so when the Twitch channel disappeared, content creators still had the ability to grab the blog and read it, or grab the relevant information and talk about it. Now they can't even do that. There's no ability to plan for a weekend event because you don't know what's happening in the weekend event as far as CSSs or how to score points until maybe 24 hours before the event goes live. Maybe, right? But that information is not disseminated by any of the content creators, mostly the official one. And they don't have the ability to do that. Okay, cool. It's not cool. But now that information is not even being able to get out there in any meaningful kind of way. And then it's been replaced by text in a Discord channel that is extremely vague and not nearly as well fleshed out as the information used to be. And I don't see any benefit or positive from it. I understand there's players that don't need it. That's cool. There are players that do. It seems like it is an extremely low effort thing to actually put out into the world. I don't think the blog took a lot of manpower. I don't think it took a lot of resources. I don't think it took a lot of money. I think it just took time. And that's what they've decided to do. To me, removing all of these streams of information is really a way for the developers to streamline their personal time at the detriment to the actual player base. I don't think it's a good decision in any way, shape, or form. And until they have a way to communicate information that was as effective as the blog, Twitch streams, and the official CC's actual videos on midweek, weekly, monthly, and weekend contests, it has put the community at large at a bigger disadvantage than they were. And this is a game that is not free.
Nope.
Right? People are still... Yeah. It's bad. Fucking bad. And I don't love it. I am just a joy on this particular podcast episode. Hi, guys. Usually I'm happy smiling and I keep opinions to myself that are negative, but I can't. I mean, this is... It has been a pretty tough 4 to 6 weeks in the game, and there has been nobody out there just being like, hang on, guys. Broken? Promise you things are about to get better. No, there's not even that. There's not even that out there. Like, hey, we hear you. Stuff's broken. It's going to get fixed. It's like, we've made a report to somebody, and hopefully they get back to us.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's so frustrating and demoralizing and disappointing. And I really, really wish that somewhere out there were stats to show game and screen engagement over the last 4 and 6 weeks to see if it's picked up or reduced. But that's neither here nor there. There you go. That's welcome. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk on why blogs are important. C, control it back to you.
All right, very hefty thoughts by a Slimbo. I love the varying outlooks on this. Envy, I don't really give a damn about no blog. Just talk about the CSSs. Slimbo, this is horrible, and this has just been demoralizing. This is great. Look, that's what the podcast is here for, is to give a platform to everybody so that they can be heard on these wonderful points. McMenemy, I believe, has lost his Wi-Fi access, hysterically enough, after everybody was making fun of me losing my Wi-Fi. But looks like he might have just rejoined and might be back. Bucko, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Good to
like
have.
Technical issues, bit like you yesterday.
Yeah, except mine weren't quick. What's up, B-Rock? Talk to me real quick.
I think we just heard from Slim, and Slim shared his very poignant view. I just want to piggyback off of it. This is why I am the people's champ. He said everything I just said. I speak for the people. I speak for Slim. We both said this is trash and is ruining player engagement.
Mm-hmm.
See, you guys always say I gotta prove that I'm the people's champ. Here it is. I have my belt right now on my chest as I sit on the couch.
That was your stomach that you smacked, but okay.
In your penthouse, right?
No, Chris, I'm in the basement with you right now, buddy. I'm in the basement.
Shell, talk to me. Thoughts on the blogs?
I think they were a good.
Hold on, time out. Chris, we're bouncing off of you again, buddy. Alright, go for it, Shell.
Yeah, I think they were a good resource. I dislike the Discord server greatly. I went on there when it first, when they first unveiled it. Cool, checking it out. Been back maybe once or twice. I don't like it. I don't like the element of people that post there a lot. It seems like I'm trying to be diplomatic, but it just seems like there's a lot of derision from certain players,
Mm-hmm.
and not bullying so much, but just I don't know. I don't like going somewhere where I feel like I'm being talked down to by other players. It kind of piggybacks off a point you made earlier. Like, people deserve to play the game how they want to play the game. There's no right way or wrong way. There's more efficient ways. There's probably more better strategic ways, but there's no right or wrong, really. And I feel like there is a sizable element there that, make it uncomfortable to see sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even bother going there at all, even though that's pretty much restricted to the non-official channels where they post information. But I choose not to go at all, honestly, unless I think there was one day last week when Flo tagged me where just a stupid conversation, stupid as in a funny non sequitur, non-game related conversation, which again is still kind of weird in an official server, but whatever. Yeah, I miss the blogs. I also feel like we used to get more information, and sometimes it was a little bit too much. So if they're planning it down to giving us information down to the minute, it leaves no room for their error and no room for leeway. But so we go from that to the exact opposite. There's got to be a middle ground, and it's just we don't have that right now.
Yeah.
And the point that was brought up earlier, there are some factions. I was in KSMA, love them. Thank you, KSMA. That don't use Discord. Some of the members do, but most of them communicate through Facebook Messenger, which, as much as I love them, that is such a god-awful way to communicate faction events. I love you guys, but... So it's you're just... And then there are definitely other factions that don't use, those types of...
Use Discord.
Yeah, Discord. It's just you're just leaving out a whole bunch. Okay, maybe if they're playing this game and they're not online, it's a little weird. A website anybody can go to and see. But if you don't have Discord, you're not. Most people aren't even going to just make an account just to go here to check out.
No. Yeah, it's very. I don't want to necessarily say the word excessive, but I can't think of a better word here.
But long story short, I missed the blog.
Yeah, it's doing too much, is what it feels like. And yes, that's fair. It seems like that's a pretty regular sentiment here.
It's cool. You can have your official Discord where you have your official interactions with your fans, player base, whatever the fuck you want to call us at this point, your cash cows. You can have that, but share the information part more widespread.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Bucko. You know what? How about you just take us home on your thoughts of no more blogs?
Well, as someone that thought it would have been good to have it all on Discord, I thought they would have put more information on the blog for people that don't, and I had to go and look at that blog again because I was just like, did I really actually read this? So I went and looked and I went, that's not a fucking blog, it's a waste of space and time. It tells me 3 characters and then join Discord, join Discord, join Discord, join Discord. I was like, okay, I suppose I better join fucking Discord then, huh?
Yeah.
Then I goes to the Discord thinking I'll get more information there, and what do you know? There's puffs of fucking smoke. Like, woo! There's my information. Bleh.
Yeah.
And then you get it I don't know, a couple of days before, and you're like, alright, CSS, but how many points are fucking available? What's on the prize wall? Oh, you can just wait for that to go live, I suppose. Ooh, okay.
Yeah, it's maybe I'm wrong on this, but from what I've been reading from a lot of the folks on the Discord, a lot of the feedback is, man, this information feels like AI wrote it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like too.
If it feel like it, I would bet my account that AI is in charge of 95% of most of the data that has been shared on the Discord. If I want a Slim Numbers account, just go ahead and prove me wrong.
Yeah, I obviously don't have any sort of inside intel on what is happening. It definitely feels very like there's a lack, right? There's a lack of understanding and a lack of like what information would have been provided if someone that was writing this blog had played the game or knew what the game consisted of, right? Like from a development standpoint. I obviously can't say because I don't know whether it's being written with AI or not, but it definitely has that feel to it that someone that is writing this does not play the game, which is very upsetting and frustrating, to put it kindly. That's kind of where we're at right now. The blogs definitely seem like they're just gone and not coming back, which is definitely a very frustrating experience for a lot of people. Obviously, myself included. I enjoyed reading the blogs and finding time to stream on Thursday nights for everybody. That was some of the more fun that I've had in the game, just hanging out with people and being able to talk about the information and showcase some of the CSS that we would have for the weekend and all that stuff. The thing that I don't like is, there feels like there's a glaring lack of information, which is not good, right? If this was to replace the blog, I think people would get used to it and accustomed to it, and it's like, okay, instead of going online, I'll make a Discord and I can link my Discord to the information so I don't have to worry about logging into their thing and all this type of stuff. You could work around it, sure. That's not a problem. But the idea that, as Slim said, there wasn't a replacement of information, but simply a removal of information, it feels really bad. And I don't like that either. I don't like that we're going essentially back in time. There was a time we didn't have any blogs. Even if you go on the website, you'll notice how far back the blogs go. They don't go back to the first day of the game. So there was a lot of information that we never had in the first place. And that's where the quote-unquote code readers came into play, where they literally pulled the code from the live client and then had to decipher based on the code in the game what was going to happen, what deals were going to go live at reset, what tours were going to go live at reset, what the rewards were going to be, what the requirements were going to be, all that type of stuff. And it feels like we're just going back to that point in time. It feels like we're going back to a point in time that we need to have someone in the faction who understands how to read the code, how to do it efficiently, and then also has enough free time to do it. It's kind of like how Slim did his own math on hype. You need someone to do your own reading on the code, but every day, essentially. Every weekend that there's an event that's coming up, they need to be available, Thursday night, Friday morning at about 2 in the morning type of thing. So that they can check after all the code has been updated. Well, these are the deals that are going live. These are the requirements that are going live. These are the CSS that you need that are going live. These are the people that you can get shards for. So if you don't know who you could get shards for on the current prize wall that goes down by Friday reset because you're waiting to see how many shards you can get in the weekend event, well, you can only get 50 shards of Miss Jacqueline in the weekend event, so you might as well get the 200 shards of Miss Jacqueline in the midweek event. Or vice versa, right? Like, none of that information is available anymore. And some of that sure was limited in a certain extent, but it's very limited now, which is a very big frustration for a lot of people. I don't like the idea that we're going back in time, 6 years, 7 years. That doesn't make any sense to me. it's not a benefit. It might be a benefit for the people in charge, that they don't have to spend as much time or dedicate as much time on creating a blog or making a blog or doing any of that stuff. And yeah, it's probably easier. And again, I don't know if it is or isn't, but it's probably easier to just throw a prompt into an AI or chat bot or whatever you want to call it. Probably just easier to do that and be like, hey, write me up a wrestling themed, experimental, exciting post about this. Here's your parameters. We have a new Rusev, a new Alistair, there's a new moment, and our players are going to be playing this game for a month, right? Like something like that. And here you go. Here's your information. It stinks. It feels like it has completely lost touch with the players in the game, and that's never a good feel. And then kind of the whole reason of why I wanted to kind of piggyback both of these 2 points together. And I don't really want to burn too much more time because we've already been going for over an hour, which is crazy to me. Gotta love hype. That's become our new boss battle conversation is hype. But part of the No More Blogs is the new Beach Brawl MLC. There was no real blog with it. Like, all that we got told was there's going to be a new Rusev, a new Aleister Black, a new Julia, and there's going to be a moment for Money in the Bank. That was it. And we had to wait until everything went live to actually look at this stuff. Turns out the Money in the Bank moment was Naomi's Money in the Bank moment. Nobody knew that, right? Like, it was just, hey, you get a Money in the Bank moment. Well, now we finally get to see what it's like in the game, like 2 hours before the reset goes live. So I was gonna talk to everybody kind of about this MLC, but it's pretty difficult to do so without there being any big talking points, because it all kind of revolves around lack of information and or hype. So it's an interesting one, but I guess we'll take a swing at it, and we'll talk about the structure so far. So when it comes to the new characters and the revamped characters, we could talk about that, and we can talk about I guess the moment, if anyone is looking forward to possibly getting the moment or going to chase after the moment. But I guess that'll be our MLC points. So if anyone has any thoughts about any of the characters, by all means, we could talk about that here now. I myself had to play all the characters as a content creator. I believe all of my videos are out there by now. We did the Rusev rework, the Alistair rework, the new Julia, the new Alistair, and the new Rusev. So yeah, all of my videos are out there now. I've played all of them. I'm curious to hear what everybody's thoughts are on Rusev returning to not only WWE but the game. Alistair not only returning to WWE but the game. And there being a brand new Julia. I don't want to necessarily lead anyone into how they should think about any of the characters. So if you've seen my videos, you know how I think about them. Very, very much so. But I will leave that up to everybody's interpretation. But if there's anyone that wants to talk about any of the characters, now would be the time to do it. And, you know, if you want to chime in with a couple of thoughts about the moment and if you're going to get it or not, or if you want it or not, something like that, then by all means, go for it. Envy, I see you've already unmuted. If you want to start us off with our Beach Brawl MLC thoughts.
Sure. So the thing I've noticed, new trend, is they're now giving 6-star silvers on the free character if you max the contest.
Yes.
So it's changed how I play the game altogether. Because usually I was in a rush to take the person up, make them easy to win with, and do all the things. But without a starter pack, just starting with 2-star, I took Rusev up to, I think, 3-star silver maybe, and that's where he'll stay, or wherever the fuse took you to. Because I got the 100 things off the prize wall and then just stopped. Hard stop. So we're going to see how this works, and if I can max it and then take him gold just off of nothing, then I'll be thrilled about that. He's good enough to win at 3 stars, so who knew? Who knew? The revamp of Rusev, well, I mean, at least they changed his gear, so got his gear, got 100% blast gem damage, never need to use them, so great about that. And Aleister Black is back, happy about that.
Yeah.
He retailed like a way better card when he first came out than he does today, but that's okay. He's back. We can celebrate
that. He is back.
And we got a new Naomi moment, so that's gonna be good if I should pull it off. I've given up on the idea of trying to get the Julia gear from the armory loop, so I am just doing gear pulls with my fingers crossed.
Okay.
And if it happens, happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not hype about this month, but I am not disappointed either. I feel.
Oh, sounded like Envy just roboted off there at the end.
Oh, I said I'm not hype about this month, but I feel decent.
Ah, there you go. All right, fair enough. Slim, I saw you you unmuted there for a moment. You want to chime in with your thoughts on some characters?
I completely forgot that Powerhouse Rusev got a rework. He has not been needed or required for anything outside of a special stip tour. As an enforcer, and really it was the new one that you needed anyway. But what do they do? What are they doing with the card? At least in months past, there was reason to use the second rework card. I forgot it. Until you mentioned something. I was like, oh, yeah, they did rework Rusev. Somebody told me he was.
Yeah, Rusev reworked, baby. It's actually really funny. He only got one moveset reworked. His purples.
Good.
And everything else stayed exactly the same. So it's actually very funny when you go and look at his moves and you see the difference, even in just like the base move damage. It's like, okay, hey, there's, this 450,000 damage move, this 480,000 damage move, this 12,000 damage move. Wait, what? This 16,000 damage. Oh yeah. None of this other stuff got changed, huh? Like they didn't even bother adding a 0 to it, So yeah, it was pretty funny stuff.
I think that is actually a really strong indicator of like where everything else has been. Like, hey, they changed 3 Rusev moves, and you can see by looking at the rest of his moves where they changed the 3 because they didn't even bother to touch the rest of it. Yeah, that's kind of how the MLC as a whole has felt to me. My favorite thing about the MLC, though, and I have to go back to the blog for this. I think we're in week 2, right? Are we in week 1 or week 2?
We are at the end of week 2, yes.
Cool. Weeks 2 through 3 in the event lineup, we are in the middle of high-impact special events that smash the mold.
Yeah.
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 High-impact special events that smash the mold. And brother, I can... They've been smashing that mold left and right. And awesome.
I mean, did you not feel the pure adrenaline opener last week for week 1? It was so much adrenaline, I don't have anything written down for us to talk about.
I would dare say that I was so adrenalized that I might have even been hype. Yeah, all sarcasm aside, that really is actually a really good indicator of the way the MLC's gone. Yeah, they changed Tech Black. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm never going to use him again. I don't even want to use him now.
No.
So I'm sure not going to use him outside of that last showdown that I have to use to get some points, I guess. Might get those damage points for him. Just may look at it and be like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I'm just not going to. Julia looks cool. There we go. Let's go spin positive. Julia looks very cool. Character model is great. I don't get to see a lot of it on my emulator, but when I see it on the phone, it looks really cool.
The fix for that, by the way, is her gear does not cause the game to lag. So there's that.
Well, good. So I have to hope my opponent has her gear.
Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
That's all I've got about the MLC. It's an MLC. The cards feel really disconnected, other than it's a new lady that's relatively new on the roster, and then two superstars that have come back to the roster. I guess maybe that's a theme. I don't understand where Tech Black, Powerhouse Rusev, Tech Rusev, or Julia, or the new Black Showbo Black have anything to do with beaches.
Yeah.
I'll think of Rusev just, chilling in the Gulf, drinking a Mai Tai, hanging out. That doesn't really jive with his character, but whatever.
Yeah, we also had that one little weird event with what was it? Mexico, Ireland, Japan, and something like that, because beaches or something. I don't know.
Because technically all those places do have beaches.
Yeah.
Technically.
So
I mean, Ireland's an island, Japan's an island, Mexico is like, you look at it in really big pictures, part of an island, I guess.
yeah. And then what was the other one? Canada? I don't remember.
Canada's same as part of that real big island with Mexico.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. None of it makes a lot of sense. There's no cohesion. Most of the cards aren't that great. Julia looks fantastic. Movesets look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool that there's going to be a high-powered bleed card in the game finally. Or maybe not finally, but another high-powered bleed card. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, man, it's an MLC. Who's right along.
All right, fair enough. Shell, talk to me. Characters, thoughts, MLC thoughts.
Little disappointed with Aleister Black.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of Aleister Black, and I was like, when I heard Aleister was coming, I'm like, awesome. As a lot of people know, I am a huge fan of his wife, Zelina.
Mm-hmm.
I took her card to 6 gold as soon as I could, even as terrible as that card is, because I'm such a fan. I'm a mark. I was like, oh, cool, we're going to get Aleister. And he's just, he's there. Rusev? Oh, shit, I forgot about Rusev. Other than, when I have to do his weekly tour. He's not good.
Yeah.
Julia is phenomenal. She's fantastic. I love her. I got her yesterday. I've enjoyed using her throughout this feud. She's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I have also spent a little too much, and I do have the moment already. The moment's cool. I like the moment. Yeah, it's been an MLC. There's just Slim really hit the nail on the head about how I feel. It's disconjointed. What are these characters? I'm used to the MLCs that were fun because they were all tied together. Zombie Month is my absolute favorite. Whether some of those characters have no connection or not, they're all zombies. They're cool. It's like a theme. I love themes.
Yeah, there's a theme.
I think themes are cool. This one, was it the last month? It's just there's no creativity lately. And it's okay. Also, this is just a little minor pet peeve. The fact that Julia, as much as I'm thrilled to have a brand new female character on my roster that's new to the game, the fact that Julia got a card before Stephanie Vaquera, it hurts my heart. Hurts my heart. I really want a Stephanie. But
apparently with all 3 of these coming out this month, there was a lot of rumblings of people were talking about Stephanie hitting the game this month, so who knows? Maybe she does.
I would love that, honestly. But at the same time, I'm kind of ready for this month to be over, and it's only halfway through. It just, I was like, okay, can we move on and show me what the next big thing's going to be? Because I'm just not feeling this.
Yeah, that's never a good situation if you're already waiting for the next one, right? All right. Well, thank you for the insight, Chris. Let's go to you. Talk to me. Thoughts on the MLC, the characters, the moment, all that good stuff. Talk to me about your insight with those.
The MLC is kind of boring.
Okay.
I mean, there's really nothing exciting has happened this month. It's been a pretty boring one, at least in my eyes. The new Rusev is whatever. He's fine. Doesn't bother me too much. I don't mind using him. I probably will never again after this MLC. But he's a fine card. Alistair, I am really hoping that the way they have him set up means we're going to get some more Protect Gem support in the game, because really there's hardly any. So I'm hoping that, this is just heralding the arrival of some Protect Gem stuff. Because I actually kind of like Protect Gems. It's just they're kind of worthless in the game right now. There's no support like there is, for Maltese and all the other stuff.
Right.
The Tech Alistair rework, kind of worthless.
Yes, Tech Alistair.
His rework is pretty much worthless. Do not like using him at all, even in the slightest. Right. I got lucky with the one showdown and did it while it had the move damage buff. Thank God. I feel bad for people that missed out on that, because otherwise that would have taken forever. Julia's fun. I wish I had her. I feel like half of this podcast is Shell getting to rub it in our faces that she has her. I think we all would love to have Julia, though, because she looks awesome.
Yep.
So I'm sure I'll get her by the end of the MLC, but I wish I had her now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she does look like a lot of fun. I'm curious to see if there's, anyone else who's going to come out towards the end of the month. Maybe that'll be Stephanie. One can hope. I think that would be a fun card to get, but yeah, overall the characters, I guess the characters don't really do anything for me. I'm not an Alistair fan or a Rusev fan. I could do without both of them. I don't even know anything about Julia. So the only reason I'm excited about Julia is just because her card is good, not because it's a Julia card.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there.
I guess how I feel about the characters, though, kind of just sums up the whole month. It's an MLC, and it's kind of boring. So I'm hoping, what is it? Hopefully September will be better. Or maybe they'll do something towards the end of this month that makes up for the rest of it. I'm not getting my hopes up for that, so I'm just going to hope that September is better.
Yeah, it's a shame, unfortunately, but that is what it is. That is our MLC. I'm glad that even though I haven't led off this point, that it seems like I'm not alone in the way that I'm thinking about a lot of these characters. Bucko, talk to me about your thoughts on the MLC, your thoughts on the characters, so on and so forth.
I'm getting 3 cards. That's how I've looked at the MLC. I think I've not looked at Alistair Black, but he's an MP down coach, which needed to make available for everybody else. Other than that, I've not looked. Another powerhouse female's nice. The Rebucks, forgot completely about Rusev actually getting his. The only thing I remember about that was getting a reminder in the server to go and buy his gear.
Yeah, we got a reminder to get his gear for cheap hangers.
Yep. And then I just use the Reebok Black for what he's needed and then throw him away again.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty fucking lackluster month, to be fair. That's the way I've looked at it. I mean, sure, I've got a couple of nice new things throughout the month, but that's not because of the month, that's because of me doing the work in the showdowns and the faction events that have popped up.
Yeah. I mean, it's All right. I mean, pretty straightforward thoughts on the month. I can dig it. B-Rock, our finale thoughts over here. Talk to me. What's your outlook on our Beach Brawl MLC?
Am I the only one that misses Bob saying this might be the best tech in the game, or the best showboat, or Merrick saying same thing? Because I just have to say, Aleister Black, trash. Trash. It's just bad. I know that that's supposed to be great cards. I understand that that's not supposed to be great posters, cards, whatever we want to call it. I know they're not supposed to be great. But damn, make them usable. Make them usable. Everybody said the same thing. I will never use this again ever in life unless required by CSS. That's what everybody just said about the 2 cards that majority of the people are going to get. Majority. Not everybody's going to get Julia or whatever the next 2 cards that come out. Not everybody's going to get them. But the ones that people pretty much should have this month, hot garbage. Hot garbage. And I'm so disappointed because it's like, okay, we have 2 Rusevs in the game, and both of them are garbage. What did he do? Can somebody tell me what he did for people to shit on him this bad? Aleister Black, same thing. What did they do? Is the kiss of death going to AEW? Is that what it is? Because if you go to AEW and come back, is it like, okay, yeah, your card's going to be hot garbage?
No,
because
look at Cody, bro. Cody doesn't have hot garbage.
I'm trying to figure it out, but Cody's also got like 5 cards.
Yeah. But they're not hot garbage.
They're not hot garbage. I'm just trying to figure it out. Somebody help me out. Help me understand.
Put this month over. I really think people are trying to gear up for the fall and the winter, because right now, what is this, Beach Summer Fest?
Beach Brawl.
What is this called? Because they got 2 different ones. Because on the screen they still got the Summer Slam.
It's the Beach Brawl.
And then you got your flip flop group. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad.
It's an experience.
That's my take.
It's an experience. I will say, for the characters this month, which is mainly all that we can really talk about with the MLC, for the characters this month, the revamped Rusev is not great. It's literally just a couple of moves that got revamped. He didn't get an actual full revamp or rework. He's still very bad. His trainers never got revamped either, so that is also bad. Hysterically enough, the revamped Aleister Black, as much as everybody isn't a fan of it, is actually better than the current month's Aleister Black. That'll probably surprise a lot of people to hear that being my take on it. But that is most certainly my take on it. The amount of damage that this month's Aleister Black can do is so insignificant and poor that it's not even worth a discussion. It doesn't warrant a discussion in terms of what he can do. He has a moveset with countdowns that only works at 99 MP with a Judgment Day plate. I have never seen, in all the years that I've played this game, any type of situation where so many unreasonable things needed to be met as a requirement in order to get a moveset to work. It is unreasonable. It is not natural for this game to require so much of an investment to get a singular moveset to work. And even if it does work, it is not significantly strong numbers. It's not like, okay, hey, you went through all that, now you hit a magical 800 million damage. Like, no, you're lucky to hit like 70, maybe 80 in best case scenario. And so, like, it's a slap in the face to anyone that even does get him early, that has a Judgment Day plate, that's willing to go through waiting to turn 2 for nothing. He's got one move that's a very good move, and that's it. And if your entire character is built around a singular move, that's not the way that any character should work. It's fine. It's a good move, gives them a boost, turns the board into a color, and then you can use a rubble plate to turn the board into that same color again. But it's not fantastic. It does about 70 mil. You could see all the numbers that I've been feuding against, even in female feuds. 70 mil ain't cutting it. I just hit for 100 mil against the Io Sky, and she almost kicked out, right? I just hit for 100 mil against Mommy, and she did kick out. So 70 mil ain't getting you nowhere, and it's not getting you anywhere real quick. So the idea that's kind of his whole moveset is bad. Like, really, really bad. And so what's funny to me is when you compare him to the revamped him, the technician him from old, the tech him, well, yes, he's not good either. Don't get me wrong. Like B-Rock said, and quoting everybody else here, no one's going to use them unless they're CSS. I will try to find a way to use the old tech before I use the new Showboat. If it's against a powerhouse, because he has a hardcore move that works fantastically against powerhouses. But aside from that, just bad. Just bad. So both reworks for Alistair and Rusev, very poorly done. Both monthly characters for Alistair and Rusev are very poor. I didn't expect much from Rusev because he's the freebie character. I don't typically expect much from the freebie character, so it is what it is. Alistair, I was hoping for more from, especially like when you've watched any of the Becky gameplay that I've done on this entire podcast and stream of feuding and whatnot, whatever you want to call it. You'll notice she's never once hit below 120 million damage. And there are times she breaks 200 million just because of the hype differential. It's a massive difference where it's like, yeah, I can't go below 120 versus I can't even hit 100. I can't even hit 90, right? Like, it's a massive difference. And it's not like this was years apart from release date. This is, month. Like, that's it. It's been a month. So it's really odd to me. All that being said, and this is what I left in my little preview videos too, was it felt like all the lackluster effort they put forth towards both revamps, towards both Rusevs and both Alistairs, of old and of new. It felt like all of that energy that they didn't put into those characters, all of it went into Julia. Like, all of it and some. I have never seen a character quite as fantastic as Julia for the female side of the game in a long time. And that even includes Mommy. Mommy's on top's great, and she's still arguably the best female in the game in terms of speed and damage and all that stuff. Julia's insanely good. Like, insanely fantastic. Has bleed damage like Slimbo mentioned. Has damage purge color gem, which is something that we used to have on Rocker Sean and Showboat Shinsuke that was so good way back when, and then they nerfed it. Julia's isn't nerfed, it gets stronger. She's got move damage. She's got regular gem damage that isn't damage per. She's got so many forms of damage that it would be silly if you got her and you couldn't do enough damage with her. That's how good she is. And also, she just so happens to be a powerhouse, which I'm pretty sure is widely renowned as the worst class for females right now, is powerhouse females. So the fact that she is a 3,000 shard recruit and an S tier, and hopefully if you play the game all month, you should be able to get her without needing to invest money, or much money, I should say, or any money at all, depending on where your account and roster is as of now. I'm blown away by it. because anyone that's a free-to-play player to anybody that's the whaliest of whales, Julia is going to be your best powerhouse. Female, like, period. And for those of you that are saying, well, that requires all the bells and whistles and all that stuff, no. Then she just gets even better. But no, she doesn't need any of those things in order to be how good she's going to be. Again, feel free to watch the video and watch the insane amounts of numbers that get done without the gear and without the moment. She doesn't need it, which is insane because if you add those things on, she just gets even better. So fantastic addition to the game. Kind of like Chris mentioned, I don't know much about Julia. She's still relatively new to me on the WWE roster. I've also not watched a whole lot of NXT, so I don't really know like where she came from, so to speak. And I don't know. I guess they have like very high hopes for her because by the time she hit the roster, she was like already a champion or something like that. So obviously she's very good if they feel that way about her. But I am just ignorant when it comes to, you know, my Julia trivia, I guess is what we can call it. As for the moment on the month, I think everybody knows at this point, I will do whatever it takes to pretty much get all the moments. So I will make sure that I get that moment. Moment is insane, makes Julia insanely strong, makes everybody else involved in that moment fantastic. That is one of the most basic moments I've ever seen in the game, and it's probably one of the strongest moments I've ever seen. It's simple. You get bleed damage, gem damage, move damage. That's it. That's where it stops. It's not for any game mode. It's not for anything. It's not like, hey, you get leech damage and boss damage. Nope. Just move damage, gem damage, bleed. That's it. And that's awesome. So that's my take on the characters, and essentially the month altogether, has been not great. Because it's all been kind of overwhelmed with all the hype stuff that we had spoken about earlier on in the podcast. It's definitely a frustration for sure, for a lot of folks. But my thoughts on the month is it's a month, right? It's nothing new. It's pretty boring, aside from the hype, and you just kind of roll with the punches. That's my take on it. Anybody else on our month before we go on? Because we still have a couple more points, and we have already had a very long podcast.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to have to bounce after this, and I figure this is a good ending spot. As per usual, I won't be able to make it through a full episode. But I've been actually going back and reading the blog. And in the Devs Corner section, it literally does state, and the stakes higher than ever, unlocking international superstars doesn't just bring new power to your roster, it opens the door to stellar rewards. That is actually the theme of the month, and it's buried in the middle of the AI blog. That's all of the characters that have been released so far. And the event where it had Japan and Ireland and Canada and Mexico and all that stuff, it's actually an MLC that's focusing around international superstars. Black is Dutch. Rusev is Bulgarian. Julia, I believe, has dual nationality. So there's the month's theme. It's just, hidden behind a picture of a beach and buried in the middle of an AI blog.
Yes, it is. It is the international month is what I've been
International
told.
month is what this is, and that's nothing says international like beaches. So it's been awesome talking to everybody. Thanks for having me on. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right, Slimbo, have a good one. Thank you for stopping on and appreciate it.
So we're getting a new Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, we're getting a new Kofi. Yeah, how'd you know? No. All right. Anybody else on our MLC before we talk about our showdown weekend? All right, let's dive right on into it. We got the Aleister Black Mass Showdown weekend. This is typically where I would go onto the blog site and then read you a little information about the event itself, except that doesn't exist. So all that we really have now is the dev diary, which has no information about it, and the game news section, which is essentially just telling us about the fact that there's going to be a showdown weekend. So the Showdown weekend has a faction task, which no one cares about the faction task from the last Showdown weekend. However, all that being said, the things that I do have written down about the Showdown weekend, it is the new Snowfall Gem plates that we had. So there were 6 color variants of the Snowfall Gems and 1 rainbow variant of the Snowfall Gems. Very expensive in terms of what you can and can't afford if you didn't have Aleister Black for that weekend. And then I also have written here, if you got first place in your bucket, that you got a 40 pull on the weekend loot, as well as I think it was like 700,000 points. I don't have the exact amount of points, but I wrote down that you get points. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. They also have talking about the Showdown feedback, like the whole hype thing, because initially it didn't tell you who went first, and everyone was having issues with who was going first with hype. So yeah, let's get some thoughts out here about our Showdown weekend, our first Showdown weekend with hype in the game. So B-Rock, I see you're still unmuted, so why don't you start us off on this one? All right, well, never mind. B-Rock said no. I guess B-Rock is not hyped for Showdown weekend. Chris, how about you start us off for Showdown weekend, the Black Mass Showdown weekend with hype?
Well, I won my little bracket thing, and I pulled Aleister with those pulls, so I guess that was good. So I would rate my weekend as a pretty overall success for the Showdown.
Very cool.
I mean, that was about it. That was about it for me. That was the big standout moment. As I won my bracket, got that. I don't remember the Showdown being particularly difficult or anything like that. It was a Showdown weekend is pretty much where it's at.
Anything on the
I wish I
Snowfall
had
plates?
something insightful for it, but I do not.
Any info on the Snowfall plates? Did you get one? Was it too expensive?
Oh, I got a yellow one.
Got a yellow one. Who did we get the yellow one for?
Goldberg.
Oh, for Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yeah, I decided he wanted one. It also works for the Miz. So that's why I did that one. Like, I thought about getting what was it, red for Trish and Striker Liv. But I decided to get one for the Hall of Fame Goldberg. He wanted one, so he got it.
All right.
I don't know if I'll even use him that much. That was my problem when I was picking the plates, is like, I don't really use these people all that often. But yeah, that's the one I went with. I was just short of getting the rainbow one, because obviously the rainbow one would have been nicer, but came up just a little bit short on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, would have loved the rainbow one, but if you didn't have Aleister, that was just a bit too expensive for me. So yeah. B-Rock, I heard you leaving and rejoining. Are you back now?
Yeah, I'm back.
There you go. All right, talk to us. Showdown weekend, baby.
For me, Showdown was about. I think I spent all my prize wall on econ stuff because I'm slowly running out of TP. It was a normal Showdown. I the hype aspect of it was a little different. The word I'm going to use, because I think the Showdown had started, and then people realized that even if the hype person is in the second slot, it counted against you.
Yes, it did.
So I don't think people knew that going in. Or if they did, I must have missed it, and most of my faction must have missed it. But yeah, I think hype is kind of taking over a lot of stuff, so I'm trying not to be negative. I just wish that the information would just come out and they would share the information the way it needs to be shared. And I think then a lot of stuff would look a lot better.
All right, fair enough. Shell, talk to us. Showdown thoughts. Alistair Black.
It was okay. Like, I dislike Showdown to begin with. It's not my cup of tea. But it was okay. I am lucky enough to be in TNM, which has some brilliant, minds there. And I happened to be in a voice chat listening to people chat during Showdown. So they figured out, and I listened pretty early on that, hey, this is how this is working. The higher hype goes first, and it's cumulative. So it's got to take into both. So it was a lot, I would think, easier once you realize that. So it wasn't too bad.
I remember you were not having a lot of fun during Showdown, to be fair.
No, it wasn't fun at all. It was annoying. But it wasn't, I don't want to be like, I'm trying to phrase this in a way that doesn't make me come across as like an asshole, because I have my problems are minimal compared to people with lesser rosters.
Sure.
So mine were just probably just minor annoyances for me, whereas this Showdown was probably a lot harder for a lot of other people. But it wasn't too bad. Like, I got through it. I also had to work, and I just forgot about it half the time. But yeah.
Anything on the snowfall plates?
I ended up getting the rainbow one.
You had Alistair Black early, that's right.
Yeah, I had Alistair. I ended up shard recruiting him right before the event. So I was able to.
No wonder you want this whole month over. You got everything already. You got Alistair, you got Julia, you got her gear, you got the moment. Yeah, you don't care about this month no more.
Yeah. Like, again, first world problems. Like, I know I am in a much better position, in a much better place than a lot of other people. So I feel like not that I don't have the right to complain, but I always feel weird complaining.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Bucko, why don't you take the lead on this one here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go on.
I do have one thing, which Bucko might actually, reiterate on. The Showdown timing suck. Like, the way they keep alternating and changing and making it harder for people in the UK is really annoying. Now, it doesn't really affect me as much as listening to faction mates being so upset. Like, there was a couple that were actually talking to me about if this keeps up, they might just quit because it's so hard, because now they're pushing back Showdown. The one guy has Showdown ending at 2 a.m. for him. It's not fair. Like, when it used to be midnight, 10 a.m., 10 o'clock, whatever, now it's just being pushed further and further and making things more inaccessible to players in different time zones. I know there's never going to be a time that's great or that's perfect for everybody, but stuff like that kind of needs to be taken into account, because you have players all over the world. And I feel like Scopely does not do a good job with that. And that's it. Sorry.
No, that's fair. Bucko, chime on in. Showdown weekend. Alistair Black Mass. Snowfall plates. What's going on with you?
Well, I used to hate Showdown because it was top honor or nothing. I like the brackets because I keep winning them.
Yeah, you got some BS brackets. I can say that being in the same faction with you and seeing you post this nonsense. Yeah, you got some BS brackets over there, buddy. Let me come over to your neighborhood just for one weekend.
But the two, as Shell was saying, the two that went to 2 a.m. Fuck it, they killed me because it was 2 a.m. and then we break and then, time to go again, and then this one finished at 2 a.m. Oh, and by the way, when you finish that, we're going to start flash feuds at 2 a.m. It's like, no, if to keep that shit up, I'm done. But the Black Mass one, I think that finished at midnight, which was fine. I thought I was going to get my ass handed to me with all the hype, but once I figured out in the server, seen that it was taking into account both players, I was like, right. And then I seen the guy who had Black Mass in mine, I was like, right, he's really going to kick my ass, but tactics came into it, and I went and won it. Never get anywhere near the snowfall plates, let's not kid ourselves. So I just took, I think I took, that was the weekend that I took the Penta Shards, and then we had that faction event pop up that gave me the rest of the Penta Shards to the crew, and then I think I ended up with, what's her name, Trish as well, Trish. So the week event, the faction event was well better for me after the showdown, even though I won it, because my pulls were absolute dog shit.
Got it. So your polls didn't help you with anything. The prize wall didn't really help you, but it did help with shards for recruiting Penta and Trish, and you ended up walking away with 2 new characters after all was said and done.
Aye.
All right.
We added the faction event, and indeed I did, which was great.
That's sick. Congrats on your 2 new recruits. Penta, I'm sure as you have seen numerous times from myself, is a fantastic addition to anyone's roster.
Listen, Bob, the fact that you kept fucking showing him was the reason I wanted him. My pet peeve with fucking Showdown is do X amount of damage with this dog shit card. No, I'm not going to have that problem anymore.
Hey, you ain't lying. He solves that problem real quick. Yes, he does. Oh, man. NV, last but certainly not least, talk to me about your Showdown experience. The Snowfalls, Alistair Black, Black Mass Showdown weekend. Sounds like a perfect weekend for NV's LII, huh?
Yeah, see, so if y'all remember maybe 2 or 3 podcasts back, I was talking my shit, saying that I want people out here to know when they see Natalie in their lineup, it's going to be a problem.
Yep.
It ain't that way no more. So this time, well, so first off, fuck these Showdown events. So there's nothing in them worthwhile going after except for the stuff that costs money, and then they don't even tell you who the CSS is. So I spent like half my time just cruising along when I had a showboat in the chamber that could have been racking up points for me, but no, I didn't even know that even existed. I didn't know where to look for it. I didn't know where to press the button to see where the CSS were. And despite having every CSS they showed me, I didn't even come close to maxing the whatever type of event it was on the side. And then the loot was trash. I wasn't even trying to beat these clowns in my division, so I finished 4th. Everybody else, just get your pulls. It's fine. And after all of that, all I came away with was some shitty straps and some econ. I mean, I couldn't even get a plate.
Sounds like it was a real bad weekend for Edmund.
I mean, but I did it. I we got it done. It wasn't like painful, but it was just, there was no motivation. I was like, hey, I could spin and beat the bracket, but what's the point? I don't want to spend $20 for a 40 pull that I can absolutely get nothing out of, because no matter who I pull, it's shards. So
yeah, I'll piggyback on that point there. I didn't realize there was a showboat CSS for winning Showdown matches with a showboat until there was about an hour and a half left in Showdown. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it was a massive amount of points, but I still could have picked up another like 14 to 15,000 points worth of CSS progress, which would have gotten me like another 3 milestones, I think is what it was at that point in time where I was at. That has got to be one of the lowest that I have ever finished on an event. I got 10 out of 20 milestones on that contest. Exactly the halfway point. I hated that. That was a horrible experience. It was not very fun. I missed out on a lot of prize wall because of it. And even with that being said, the prize wall that was there, unless you spent a decent amount, you essentially got nothing for it. Unless you were trying to chase the Snowfall Rainbow Plate, or any of the color plates for that matter. Because I finished first in my bracket, which, shout out to the hype, I guess. Because I finished first in my bracket, I didn't need to spend very much. I think I spent $20 on prize wall so I can get myself a Snowfall plate for a specific color. But I was still way short of a rainbow one. I did all the numbers. I was, I think, about another $200 short of getting the rainbow one because I didn't have Aleister Black. And I wasn't spending to get Aleister Black because I'm going to get him by the end of the month anyway for free. So why spend $200 so I can get him or the plate now? Like, I'll just wait till the plate comes back around again and hopefully get it as a byproduct of a future event. Like, whatever, no big deal. But yeah, that was a really poorly done showdown event. Like, really, really poorly done. So I was not a fan of it. It was a showdown in terms of whatever, fine, you play the match, you'll be done with it, you'll be playing per normal, nobody cares, no big deal. That wasn't the problem. But the idea that the CSS was still happening and you had no idea or no intel of it was really annoying, and hence why the lack of blog information was such a problem. So not a fan of that. Forget for me reading it or not, but not a fan of it, of not knowing that the information exists, right? Like, that sucks, to put it kindly. That's really frustrating. So I don't know. Showdown weekend was not enjoyable for me, not whatsoever. It didn't feel rewarding. It kind of like Chris said, where it's just kind of all blended into one big lump of an event. That it's just like, I don't care. I'm not bothered by trying to care. I'm not interested. That nothing in this month is making it feel engaging, where it's like, ooh, I can't wait to play. It's like, man, I can't wait to be done with playing this game so I can go and do something else that I want to do. Like, I can't wait to be done getting my dailies done and my free claims done so I can turn the game off and go play something else. And that's not ideal. Not whatsoever.
Exactly. Bob, I'm just gonna piggyback because that's the way it's starting to feel.
Mm-hmm.
It's starting to feel like, okay, we're not going to give out information. We're gonna miss out. Like, if you're not scouring the Discord server, if you're not checking it every day, then you miss stuff. Because for you not to know into an hour left, really?
Yeah, I had no clue.
So that's
I was, I've been doing Family Day every Saturday for the past month or so. It's been fantastic. I get to see my nephews and my niece grow up, and they love when Uncle Robert comes around, so it feels great, right? Like, to be able to spend time with the family, and it's awesome, right? But in the back of my mind, it's like, dude, I also kind of want to get off the game, right? Like, sure, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm talking with my older brother and we're shooting the shit, right? He talks to me about his Kingdoms game or whatever that he's playing on his phone, and I talk to him about my wrestling game that I'm playing on the phone while we're playing the game for 10, 15 minutes, right? Like, no big deal. That's good. Good vibes, and we're chilling. I don't want to have to be, to your point, scouring the game while I'm talking with my brother on my family day for weekends, where it's like, oh yeah, I should have been using the yellow character, but I didn't know because they didn't give me information, and now I'm kicking myself and I gotta spend $20 to make up for it. Like, hell no. What? No, you're not making $20 off of me. You're making me stressed out and annoyed that I even want to contemplate doing it. So yeah, it's I didn't mean to cut you off there either, but that's exactly how it feels. And look, I don't try to pat myself on the back like I'm like I'm the best player in the game or anything like that, but I'm pretty decent at the game. I got people in the live chat that are asking me right now, is Bob actually feuding or is this a recording of his feuds? And it's like, yeah, I'm doing both, right? Like, I'm pretty decent, right? I get that, but it's frustrating when you can't. It's frustrating when you can't have the information that you should have readily accessible at your fingertips, like we used to, and that's where the lack of information now really sucks comparatively. It's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. All right. Anybody else for our showdown weekend before we wrap up and get to our final point? Because, man, this has been a long pod. I was not expecting it to go this long. All right. Let's move forward to our combination of final points here. So, in order to prepare for the feud that you have seen me playing the entire podcast, for those of you that are hanging out in the live chat and watching me stream as well, yes, that was me feuding while doing the podcast. That is not a pre-recording of it. But in order to prep us for that, we have received an update to our daily claim in terms of health packs. So now instead of getting 130 health packs, we get 13,000 health packs. So they added on not one but 2 zeros, and it seems like that is intended for the foreseeable future. They also gave us a injection of health packs in our inventory in terms of 50,000 health packs to prep us for this weekend. So this weekend, obviously, is the Julia feud weekend. Prize wall includes some not wonderful things, just shards of certain characters. I will do a video on that shortly and let everybody know how not wonderful that is. and the loot has a chance at Julia and her gear. Obviously, every instance of her has a gear with it. I guess I have a loot pull from the club store, so we'll go ahead and hit that while we're recording. No 2, so no gear, unfortunately. But why not? Figured we'll try it. So yeah, let's talk about the health pack update. Let's talk about the feud weekend, and let's get ready to close up the podcast. McMenemy, I want to start with you because I haven't started with you on any of our talking points. So let's start with Bucko. Thoughts on the health packs, thoughts on the weekend, thoughts on the Julia. And before we get started, one final update that the game had told us. We apparently get hype defensive points. So if you go into a lobby with hyped up characters and your characters that are hyped up lose against your opponents, you will get a percentage of the amount of points that your opponents get based on what tier of hype you are. So as a quick example, if they get 1,000,000 points of war score beating a hype 1 character that you have, you should be receiving 100,000 points towards your war score. So very odd feature that they have, but yeah, Bucko, let's lead us off with the health pack update and your thoughts on Julia weekend, feud weekend, and I guess these hype defensive points.
Health packs, I didn't really notice the update until I looked at it, and I thought, alright, because the first day that they said they were doing it, I got 135, and I thought, was that the update? And then I went the next day, and it gave me 13,005. Alright, that was the update. Fair enough. I didn't care about health packs, I didn't fucking use them anyway. Feud is feud, you know. Prize well shite. I've already took the pools and pulled shite because I can't get anything else. As for defensive height points, I thought they were going to count towards the event, but clearly my little head was wrong and they just count towards Raw War Score. And I have no idea how many I've fucking made from it because it bounces from... My War Scores went from 4 million, 11 million, to 20 million, back down to 4. And then you get the god-awful fucking pop-up that keeps going, your defensive height win, defensive height win, man. What the fuck do I need this for? Just tell me what my fucking war score is and fuck off. So it's the most stupid fuckest thing it's probably the most stupidest thing that they've implemented today with hype. And I enjoy hype, but that's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's something. It's something, all right. Okay, so not too big of a fan of the weekend, but not the biggest hater either. All right, fair enough. Shell, why don't you follow us up on that one? Talk to me about your thoughts. Health pack update, Julia feud weekend, and the defensive hype points.
I'm going to jump into the defensive hype point first because that's, what he was just talking about. It's weird. Okay, so I have screenshots. I was in a feud with someone. I took out all my characters and I was waiting, and it said that my war score was like 24 million. And then when the brawl ended, it dropped back down to 7. So I'm like, what is this doing? Like, it's just confusing. Like, I don't understand what they were attempting. What I just, like he said, it's stupid and it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. But that being said, the health pack update, I am all for it. As someone who is like, notoriously low health packs, I'm cool. I'm happy to be even better if they just got rid of it altogether.
I mean, yeah, I'd love if they just got rid of them.
Like, your superstar could still be injured and lose the match, but then when you come back into a new match, your health pool is fine. Like, I can understand if they left it, like, when we're doing, like, gauntlet blitzes, which, okay, cool. That makes sense. Keep our health low. We can't heal. But just get rid of it altogether. Like, why are we even doing that at this point?
Right.
But other than that, yeah. Feud has been going okay. I am, like, maybe a brawl or two away from hitting 500 million.
Okay, nice. Congrats.
And then the only rough part is trying to do CSS with the hype characters, because a lot of the CSS I didn't have. Like, I have a decent female roster, and I have a couple of level 3s, I have a couple of level 2s, and a lot of level 1s. But half of my CSS that I had to use for, like, the eras, none of them have hype. So it's like, try to take them against people who are already hyped. It was disastrous in some instances, and just made it so slow in others. So that sucked. But other than that, it's been a feud.
Yeah, it definitely has been a feud. That is for certain. All right. Let's go with Envy on this one. Envy, talk to me about your feuding experience. Yeah.
So, feuding's been okay. I've been slow. Well, I was slow early on. Yesterday, I was doing like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. It was getting bad out there. Then today, after I got done with all my CSS, we've been cooking. We've been doing about 10, 11 minutes. I really need to get that 2 times speed. That 1.25 is killing me out here. But I'm never going to get to 2 times speed because it costs way too much money for a whale like myself. So stop using health packs. Months ago, when I came down to 0 unexpectedly and said, oh, I've been getting crazy out here. So the health pack boost, I guess it'll make me get back reckless eventually, but I figured out how not to use health pack, so I just switch people out. I'll just not use them, where I'll press the button one time and let them slow heal while I do something else. But Fue's been okay. I can deal with the hype. I have personal beef with every Raquel out there, so anybody using Raquel that don't like you. So, because I don't know how she does what she does, but the computers figured out how to use her. The games figured out how to use her. She's kicking out of everything. I don't know what she's got in her, but she became a problem that I did not expect.
Yeah, I mean, she's fairly good for what it's worth. I've been, singing Raquel's praises for a while here. All right, and your thoughts on the health pack update, and your thoughts on the hype defensive points? Anything there?
But health pack, like I said, I didn't care about the health packs too much. The hype defense. So Liv, I think it is. Liv has taught me to hate the hype defense because I've been hitting her with like everybody and only been getting off like 2 million hits. And it's been sad. Sad and disappointing.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Edwin.
But I found a workaround on that too. So I mean, we're figuring things out, but yeah, that wasn't a good experience either.
Gotcha. All right, so not the best experience for Envy on Feud Weekend, huh?
Nah.
All right.
I'm not mad about it.
That's fair. That's fair. Chris, how's about your experience on Feud Weekend? I know that you were alluding to it a little earlier on. Why don't you enlighten everybody on how it's been going for you?
Feud's been going fine for me. Apparently, it has not been for other people because everyone I get paired with takes like 20 minutes or so, and I'm kind of frustrated about that. But Feud's been pretty normal, aside from other people being slow. Who am I using right now? Let's see. Oh, I really need to get Julia and Abby, the witch, because I am using Piper because Powerhouse women just kind of suck, and I don't want to move my Devil's Eat belt off of Lyra to use Raquel because I'd rather use Lyra.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to mention: why don't any of these prize walls have TP?
Yeah.
Where has the TP gone? I am like running out.
So that's been a point of contention for a while. We were informed the TP got moved to the Daily Showdown. So
there's not enough in there to make up for the TP.
Apparently there is. I don't know. So get back out there and play your 3 matches of Showdown Daily, champ.
Well, that's just a bunch of bullshit. Put the TP back on the prize walls. Let me get my TP back up.
Let Chris TP.
Yep, that is what needs to happen. And I don't think it is. I don't think I'm that lucky, but I could use some. I don't know about you guys, but I am running out of some colors.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's getting hit on TP. Everyone's getting hit on resources left and right because they especially now that 6-star gold is the max rarity, have been limiting the amount of people that you can level up, and therefore the average person that you have to level up has to go up higher rarities now. And so it just naturally costs more, which is not ideal, to put it very kindly. Any thoughts on the health packs or the defensive wins aspect?
I don't even know why they introduced the defensive win aspect thing. It doesn't seem to do jack for this event. It has no meaning or purpose that I can tell, because it doesn't count for, the war score event, and is it really that big of a deal for, what the total like faction war score or whatever? No, doesn't really change a whole lot. So I think it's completely worthless. And the health packs, I barely even noticed it. I guess it's nice for people who are running out of health packs. So there's that.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, they should just get rid of the health pack thing altogether. I don't think it really serves a purpose in the game anymore. Just get rid of it.
I
You
would
lose a match, your person's still full health. Who cares?
Yeah, I would love if they got rid of health packs, but I just don't see it happening. All right, B-Rock, take us home. Thoughts on the weekend, the health pack update, the feud, the defensive hype points. Talk to us.
So, I'm kind of in the same boat with everybody else in regards to the defensive hype points. What is it for? What are we doing here? Because you're giving us points for a contest that can't use the points. That makes no sense. I am in a situation though right now where I'm just gonna say, if you have Indy at hype 3 with 100% defensive strap and armor 2 medals, there's a special place for you. There's a special place in hell that you should reside. Because it's just, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the person. And if I'm one of these people where I'm petty enough to say, like, if I ran into you in the street, I'd punch you in the face. Because I ran into this person more than once. And I'm just literally saying, like, what kind of special person are you? And you have MP down as your coach. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Okay. After that, all right, I've let that part go. But I will say, I think hype, the way this is set up, is going to you're eventually going to see a lot of people not feud and slowly move away from the game.
Okay, wow.
I can honestly say that more so now than I think I've seen. Like I've been paired with a couple of people who just quit in the middle of the thing, and then I look at what they have to go up against, and I'm like, all right, so they're just kind of they did their 3. They won 1 and lost 3, and then they're sitting out the rest of the time. We're like, yo, take it, because they're running into a 4-person lineup, and all 4 are hype 3s.
Yep.
And they're like, what am I going to do with this? So I think that we're going to see a lot of people who are even minimal spenders. I'll say that, even minimal spenders. But you're going to see a lot of free-to-play and minimal spenders probably go to something else or go to a different game. That's what I'm feeling right now. My faction has 83 people in it right now. 83. So we're 17 short, and we're still top 50. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
We should not be anywhere near top 50 with 83 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But we are. And we finished boss at like 38th with 83 people. So I'm just saying, I think that whoever's making the decisions with some of the stuff needs to kind of just relook at it, because I think we're going to lose a really large player base, more so than we have recently. I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. if you're free to play and you jump in, and I'm not even running big. Me and my partner are not running big, but you
Yeah.
run into 4, level 3 heights, and you're free to play. You can't. You're not winning. You're
Like
not
you,
winning.
you better stay away from the official champions Discord server with that type of talk.
I'm serious. It's like you're not. You got no shot. Especially, and again, like if you're a free to player that's been playing, just say the last 3 years, you don't even have the MP down guys that you would need. So it's frustrating, and I'm not speaking solely for me. I'm speaking to some of the people that I'm seeing who are like, yo, I deleted the game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like 4 or 5 people have said, yo, I'm done. And I'm talking about I know somebody who has a roster bigger than mine. I'm at 14 mil. I know Chris is at like 15 mil. But he was at either 15 or 16 mil, and he's like, I'm not doing this. And he's like, yo, he left my faction, went to another faction for like 2 days, and said, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to play this anymore because it's not fun. So
that's crazy.
if you can't have fun in feud, because feud is the ultimate test for your roster, is my personal opinion. Because you're going up against somebody else who sets their roster. So it's not like boss, it's not showdown. Because you can kind of cheese showdown. So this is where you're 4 to 8, whatever it is, 4 to 9. For somebody else is 4 to 9. That's why I've always liked it. It's more of a competitive mode. But now, if you're making it to where it can't be competitive, then you're gonna lose a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know what to say. Look, I'm stoked about the health packs. I think that if they don't get rid of them entirely, which it seems like it's not happening, that this is about the next best thing. People will start to have millions upon millions upon millions of health packs, and it will just never be an issue again, which will be nice for everybody. So I'm fine with that. The feud weekend thing and hype combined for defensive points, it's wild. The amount of contention that there is with hype, I don't think I've ever seen anything in the history of this game that has had this much controversy. Even when Straps and Medals came out, there wasn't this much. And Straps and Medals were game-changing when they first hit the game. And people were just like, no, I'm annoyed with it. No, I don't care about it. No, like, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to spend on it. And then they moved on. And the people that wanted it were like, man, I really want to get this strap for Attitude Striker, like whatever it was, right? Like, both people kind of went their own ways. With this, it is the most controversial topic I've seen in the history of this game. We've had hype now for almost 3 full weeks. And even still to this moment, if you go and you check the Discord server, in general chat, people are literally blowing up the server. Talking about hype. About how great it is and how bad it is, and they need to fix the game, and we can't help you if you're stupid because you should be able to work around hype. And like, that's why, like, I always talk about it, like that server has now become 2 sides of the same coin. Either people hate hype and they don't want it and they want to get rid of it and they're sick and tired of it and they don't want to experience it. And then there's the other group that's like, you're stupid. You're dumb. Hype is good. Hype's fine. It's easy to work around. You just have to have a brain. Don't be dumb. And it's like that becomes personal attacks on people, and it doesn't help the progression of the game. So,
and I know I'm known for talking down on people. for the way I'm all, but even I'm like suggestions to try and make it better.
No.
Fucking yeah, you're an idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I'm like, well, try this, this, and this. So yeah, but it is what it is. That's basically what this month is fucking hype. Everybody else has forgot about what the cards are, and it's just hype.
It's just wild to me. The feedback thread from over 2 weeks ago still gets posted in about hype. It's just insane. It's just insane. Like, I don't know.
So Bob, I'm sorry to interrupt,
No.
but for those people who are saying that you don't know how to play the game, I am somebody who I would say, yo, come see me, because I don't have a bullshit ass roster. I have a pretty good roster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a pretty good idea how to play this game. I've been playing it for 8 years. I know how to play this game. But if I enter into a feud and I have 4 level 1 hypes, because I don't know what I'm getting prior to. So I jump in with 4 level 1 hypes and you have 4 level 3 hypes. There's nothing that I'm going to be able to do if the computer plays your moves right to win. That's not intelligence. That's literally what it is. So now I have to look at my RNG, or spend money to pull enough of hype currency to hype up some of my players to a level 3 to be competitive. So the people who don't like it and say it's the worst thing ever, I see that side 1,000%. At the same time, it brings a new element to the game, and it gives us a new challenge, which for the most part I do enjoy. So because it does that, it gives it, you can see where the people say, hey, you got to be strategic. Yes, completely get that part too. The problem is when you mix the two, when you mix the 2 levels, and if you have 4 level 3 hypes, you shouldn't be running 4 people at, I'm just, paraphrasing here. I'm just saying you shouldn't be running, 13,000 with 4 level 3 hypes. You're just being a douche. Because your roster should be better than that.
Sure.
To piggyback on your level 3 thing, that's the only way I've managed to win them is MP down coaches and using Metalhead Mammy because of the perks that have came with this feud.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would have get my arse handed to me.
Yep.
Right. But now, if you're somebody, like I said, who's only been playing 3 years, you don't have the MP down coaches. You don't have Ghostbusters. You don't have that stuff for you to be able to equip. So you are literally walking into a gunfight with a knife. You got no shot. So that's kind of why I'm just saying that you're going to see a lot of the lower end, potentially free to play people not do well. And if there's somebody like myself who likes feud and who likes to feud, then you're taking away the gameplay that they enjoy the most. Why would I still play?
Correct.
Straps and Metals came out. I know you weren't a content creator at the time, Bob, but Merrick's did like a 30-minute video on Straps and Metals. Hey, this is how it works. This is what you should do. You should be getting this. And if you remember at that time, they were giving away those lower end straps to a point where it could be competitive. where you could start
Yeah,
building.
because you could get, even if it was a 3% strap, you still got, a strap.
Yep. And then they started giving them away free with the daily, the little daily thing where you got them in those little packs for what is it? Not showdown currency, daily claim currency, whatever that, the little white box. But anyway, now yes, they brought speed in, and you're getting currency. But what are you doing with 200 when you need 30,000?
Right.
So you want to make it competitive, and you want the community to use hype and everything else. Fine. Increase the speed rewards to give you more opportunity, because you got people who have 400, 500 champs. You have people who have 500 champs. They can only hype up 20 or 30. So running into Shell's point, the CSSs that I have, I would have to use all the wild cards in my roster to get them to either level 1 or level 2. This is where this is where I'm saying that we're gonna lose a lot of the player base just based upon the inequality of it. Now, I know this is a business and you want people to make money. Got it. Now you have to really relook at what you're selling and make it something that people want to buy. If they did that $20, you get, just say 30. What a hype 2 is 30.
Hype 1 is
Hype
10,
2.
hype 2 is 30 more, so 40.
So 40. So if you ran something out there where you can get 40 of this, and then maybe throw a couple wild cards in there for $20, I think people would buy it, and it makes sense. But if you're saying, hey, we're gonna throw out 40 for 100, people aren't buying it.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's tough. That's all I know what to say about this. It's tough. Back full circle. Lo and behold, we're on hype again. But yeah, I mean, look, my limited understanding on the hyped up defensive wins was to help with how troublesome this weekend's feud was going to be. I think that's why they also gave us a great deal of health packs. And so yeah, that's the reason that I'm understanding. I don't know how the defensive hype points really fed into the event or not. I don't understand why. I don't understand why they made this a thing besides that, or if it actually counts towards the event or the faction score, or if it's even working or not. From everybody else, it just seems wild. But nevertheless, we have gone way over time. I will most likely have to break this podcast up into 2 parts here because we're less than half an hour away from feud ending. So hey, look, that's where we're gonna call it. Make sure to stay tuned for a couple of weeks from now when we go live with volume 25 of the Roundtable Podcast. And let me double check the weekends. So in 2 weeks here, it's the 30th, and 2 weeks after that. So volume 26, actually, which would be the year anniversary of it, I will be out of town with family. We are taking the nephew up to Orlando to Islands of Adventure and Nintendo World. So I will not be hosting the podcast on that weekend. So we will either do it the weekend before or the weekend after. And then we'll get back on our regularly scheduled programming. But as it stands right now, stay tuned for the end of August where we will have our 25th volume of the Roundtable. It's actually kind of insane. But yeah, that'll be it for this one. So huge shout out to everybody who showed up today. B-Rock, thank you very much as always for the insight. Chris, huge shout out as well. Bucko, I'm hopeful that I can get these podcasts up so the fans at home can let me know if they can understand a word that you're saying. I don't even know if half of the panel today on the podcast understands half of the words that you're saying, but I do, and that matters to me too. Shell, thank you as always for your insight. I'm sorry the month is not over yet. Hopefully it'll be over sooner than you think. And Envy, huge thank you as well. Never to be put into one box is what I should say, Envy. Sometimes he's with the flow, sometimes he's against it. Not always the contrarian, but he is always the Envy. And massive shout out to Slim Numbers, who did show up as well. Had to leave early, as you all heard earlier on in the podcast, but that's going to be it for us on this one. So until next time, y'all, have a good one. Bye.